So what is your pension really worth? That's the question we're going to answer today. Hi, I'm Jose Armenta, a certified financial planner helping FERS federal employees make smart financial decisions. If you're new here, welcome, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. So in this video, again, we're going to answer the question, what is your pension really worth? How much money would you need to replicate that pension? This is a great question to answer if you're considering leaving the federal government. This can be a good question to answer right now when a lot of federal employees may be offered a severance package. So this is something that's really important to know. Now in this video, we're going to cover three things. Okay, we're going to answer the question, what is your pension really worth? We're going to look at an example and how you would figure out what your pension is worth. And then we're going to close out the video with looking at some of the major benefits of your FERS pension. So it's going to be a great video. Make sure you stick around all the way to the end. Let's dive right in. Okay, so the key question is, what is your pension worth? So to answer that, we have to look at an example, and we're going to look at John, the federal employee. So in this scenario, John has a high 3 of 120,000. He's age 62, so he has met the age requirement for an immediate retirement. He has 30 years of service. He has the years of service for an immediate retirement. And because he has met the age 62 and at least 20 years of service requirement, he gets what's called a 10% bonus. Those of you who don't know, your pension is calculated by taking your high 3, multiplying it by your years of service, and by a pension multiplier. Now, if you're under age 62, that pension multiplier will be 1% for most folks. For John, because he's age 62 and he has at least 20 years of service, his pension multiplier is 1.1%. So he gets what we call the 10% bonus, which is nice. So when we run those numbers, his gross pension is $39,600 a year. Now, for simplicity, we're going to use $40,000. Okay, so he has a gross annual pension of $40,000. So how much money would John need to replicate that amount? Remember, he's going to receive $40,000 a year for the rest of his life. Now, to answer that question, the easiest way to do this is to use what's called the 4% rule, which is a withdrawal strategy. There are many withdrawal strategies. This is one of them, the easiest. Okay. Now I have a video covering the prominent withdrawal strategies. If you have not seen that video, I'll put a link down below. Go ahead and check that out. But we're going to use the 4% rule to figure out a rough number for what John's pension really is worth. Now, if this was a real financial planning scenario, we could make this complex and factor in inflation, rates of return, John's life expectancy. But for this video, we're going to keep things nice and simple, okay? So we're going to use 4% rule, and we're going to say, let's say if someone offers John $500,000, whether that's a severance package, whether it's a private job, a bonus that John can receive over a number of years if he leaves his federal position and goes to get a private sector job. So you can apply this in different scenarios. This is very helpful to have and to run these kind of numbers before you decide whether to leave the federal government early or take a private sector job. So again, if someone offers John $500,000 to leave the federal government before retirement, okay, now in this scenario, he's eligible, but let's just say it's a year before, right? Something like that. He would have to leave the federal government before he retires. How much is it worth? How much is his pension worth? So the way we're going to figure this out, the math is pretty simple. We take $40,000 and we divide it by 4%. And this is using the 4% rule. This assumes that John will be able to take out 4%, right, for the rest of his life. So $40,000 to replicate that, we have to ask the question, $40,000 is 4% of what number? Well, when you run the numbers, when you divide $40,000 by 4%, you get $1 million, meaning that John would need $1 million today, roughly, right? This is a simplified version. He need $1 million to replicate that $40,000. By taking out 40% every year of $1 million, based off of historical data, he should have a low probability of running out of money during his lifetime, right? Given some other criteria. And if you want to understand the 4% rule more, go ahead and check out my video on the 4% rule. But that's the gist of it. He needed $1 million to replicate that pension. So a $500,000 offer, as tempting as it would be for John to take that $500,000, his pension is worth $1 million. His pension is worth more. And in reality, his pension is probably worth more than $1 million because we're not factoring in the survivor benefit, which leads us into the other benefits of your pension. Survivor benefit, COLAs, right? You receive cost of living adjustments throughout your retirement. And one of the big benefits that a lot of young federal employees don't realize is that when you go into retirement, right, given and you meet certain rules that most of you will meet, you get to take your FEHB, your federal health insurance, with you in retirement. That is huge. That's a huge savings that the private sector does not have. So when you factor that all in, your pension is a great benefit. I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a quick, rough way to calculate what your pension is worth. Now, if you found the video helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. That's the best way to support this channel. And if you're interested in learning more about how my financial planning firm can help you with your financial planning and retirement needs, visit my website at createyourpathfp.com. I'll put a link down below. Until next time, I'm Jose Armenta. Take care.